Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? The weekend on this weekend, 10 weeks, 10 weeks to the day that Hamas attacked in brutal, vicious fashion the state of Israel, causing it devastation, thousands dead, even more injured, some taken hostage. I have to get together with the differences between detainee, prisoner of war, and a hostage. So I'll get to that one day. But for now, we got to go in on this Weeknd guy. He's an excellent artist. I can't take away his artistry. I can't take away his talent. He is definitely one of the most sought after acts there are living today. Definitely, he's a legend already. He's a living legend. And he only has about, I think, 4 or 5 albums that he's cut. He's made millions of dollars, and we talked about on quote unquote Giving Tuesday that it's all right to offer your funds to various charitable organizations. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're giving to an organization that is detrimental, that is devastating, that is catastrophic, that it goes against principles, that's where I have to cut you off. And I'm cutting off the Weeknd. I may listen to his music in the future, but I really can't support him like that. He in the news, he is donating $2.5 million to the effort for Gazans. Get this, Gazans and Palestine, and if you want to say Palestinians, I still am trying to figure that out. The difference between, I just know it's black and white. Like, black is good and black is Israel, and white is bad, and that's Palestine, Hamas, and Gaza. That's what I understand. That's the difference. If you want to say Israel's white and good, and Hamas and Palestine and Palestinians and Gazans are black. If you want to say that, anywhere in between there is gray and is always evil. You can have a black and white issue, but any moral grayness is always going to be evil. And I learned that from Miss Ayn Rand, the late great Ayn Rand. So here we are with Abel Tesfaye, if I pronounce that correctly, otherwise known as the Weeknd. They say their heart. I don't use that kind of language. I know that the heart is a glorious but glorified pump. That pumps blood through your body, and multiple other tasks as well. But people say, "Oh, my heart, my love." They try to tie emotion to the actual vessel, the actual muscle, the actual piece of flesh that's in your side, your rib cage. When it's really your brain, it's your mind. We should be showing pictures of brains when I say "I love you." It should be "I brain you," but that's weird and goofy right now. It's people still wouldn't understand what that would mean. But I'm going far off. The Weeknd, he has crossed the line. You do not help out the barbarians. That is helping out the barbarians' cause. That is ennobling them. That is emboldening them to commit more atrocities. Where was the money for October 7th? 10 weeks ago today, Saturday, the holy day for Jews. When was that? Where's the money for the Israelis that are hungry? Where's that money? And why only $2.5 million? Why not all your money? You just sold your mansion to Madonna for $19.3 million. You have to have more than you have to have a few more dollars than that, I'm sure. Why don't you give it all away and give all your possessions away? Give everything, the house, the cars, the stocks, the bonds, all of it. Give it all away. If you're going to be, on the side of wrong, embolden them all the way, completely. Don't spare anyone any kind of task. Don't spare them any kind of work. Just give them all your money. If you want to be altruistic, which you have shown to be, if you're going to give money and give food to the Gazans, then that's definitely a sign of somebody that doesn't know what is going on in the world. Somebody who doesn't understand the mechanics, the reality, the truth of what is actually happening. The Gazans are the enemy to Israel. Anybody in the West Bank, anybody that claims themselves to be Palestinians, but there's no such thing as a Palestine, really. There's no Palestinian land necessarily. They should not be aided. They should not have food. And then you say, oh, what about the women and children? Okay. This is war. They started it. Israel didn't wake up on October 7th with what they have, gliders and machine guns and stuff like that. They didn't wake up on that Saturday and say, we're gonna mess with the Palestinians and the Gazans. We're gonna get into them. We're gonna fire rockets at them and throw grenades and missiles in their way. No, but that happened to Israel. And that's like their 9/11 times like 10, times 9 or 10, because of the ratio of how many people live in Israel, which is about 9 million people. So if you take away about 1,200 people, that means it's a percentage that is much larger than the 300 million people that were probably around in September 11, 2001 in the United States. So it's a big difference. It's totally different. It's a totally different scenario. And for the Weeknd to lead a charge, because there are other people who signed it, including Michael Stipe, Dua Lipa, and other artists among them. They signed an agreement to help out the Gazans, which is despicable, which is just nasty. That's very vicious to me. That's something that should never have happened. The Weeknd is wrong. He is definitely wrong. But I don't know if he's conscious of his error. I don't know if he's conscious of it. That's why I'm doing this video right now. Maybe it'll reach him. Maybe one of you people out there will send it to him and let him know that, hey, you did the wrong thing, my friend. You can reverse course. You can try to, I know that money's gone now. You did that $2.5 million and it's gone. That's it. You can't survive that. All right, so I got Malik Carter in here. He still hasn't given me $1, but I still salute him. Waiting for that. Where is the donation? I'm taking in funds. Shoot, I should be like the World Food Program, the WFP. They can be legitimate. That's a legitimate, idea. I think it's not government. I don't think it's government. In my research, I didn't see that it was anything to do with the government. So it's a private organization. It's a .org. It's a 501c3. But for them to, aid the Gazans, that's the issue. That's what is so wrong. That's what really wreaks havoc upon the globe. That's what's so vicious. And the Weeknd just, stoked the coals. I don't know what's so funny, Malik. What's so funny? I don't know. Where's the laughs? Ha ha he he. I'm as serious as colon cancer. I don't know where's the funny part is. I'm not laughing. Yeah, so the Weeknd is totally off base. But I still don't know if he understands the error of his ways. I don't know. I want you guys to push this video into his, consciousness, because he can do good. Like I said, why stop at 2.5 million? And he says, during his what is it, the After Hours tour or something like that, or the Dawn FM or something like that tour, he's gonna donate $1 off of every ticket. Why not donate the whole ticket? Why just $1? Why stop? If you're gonna be truly selfless and unselfish and altruistic, why stop at I'll do $1 off of every ticket? That should be good. And then I can enjoy my $20 million mansions and my penthouse and what is it, Wynwood or something like that, Los Angeles, in my place in New York City. Yeah, just give them that. That's enough. That's all right. That's good. They'll be all right. 2.5 million there. Yeah, you should be happy. Be happy with that. And they got oil and tomato sauce and I think rice and just little things you can make and put together. But the thing is, I'm just going on just this topic. What about the diapers and the toilets? Think about that. Think about all the diapers and the toilets. Why do they always focus on the food? That food's got to go somewhere. And they talked about, the hostages or detainees or prisoners of war, whatever you want to call them. They talk about there's a hole in the wall in the floor for them to, urinate and defecate in. And it's just a mess. It's just a whole mess. That's for the hostages. I don't know about the people that are quote unquote free in Gaza, and they're getting bombed, but tell me what war in all of human history, going back 200,000 years, has there not been women and children and quote unquote innocent men not been in the crosshairs, not been in the arrows way, and not been in the club? I mean, the club, you hit somebody over the head with the club. Just give me one example of how men and women and quote unquote innocent men have not been, within the war zone, within the firing line. There's very few. I can't name too many. Especially not in modern warfare. Modern warfare, we've been killing women and children and men all over the place, and we haven't batted an eye until you get people that say, "Oh, but what about the children? What about the mothers and the aunties and the uncles?" Damn them. I want to say something stronger, but I'm trying not to cuss. Damn all of them. Israel is on the defense. They were not on the offense. They were not, going into Gaza with the intention of tearing shit up. I can say shit. I'll say that, but I'm not going to say the F word like that. But they're not going to be in, that wasn't their intention. Their intention was to live in peace. That's the Israeli dream, according to Dr. Yaron Brook. The Israeli dream is peace. I asked him that in 2015 when he was in Israel. Or it was 2016, somewhere in the mid 2010s, mid 2000 teens. That was when I asked him that question. So it just resonates with me. It just bothers me, really, honestly. How there's nobody in the media, especially, that's backing Israel that hard, like with significance, especially in the hip hop community. I guess the hip hop genre or R&B genre. Nobody, hardly anybody in today's music field or today's media, today's entertainment is backing Israel. They're for the Gazans. Oh no, the Gazans. Oh boy, the Gazans. Oh no. Oh. And they're the ones that started it. Hamas leads Gaza. From what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm stupid. I don't know. Trying to do enough research. I did my research on Mr. Tesfaye. I might have missed something. So you tell me. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Maybe I know I got bipolar. I'm crazy. So you might just write this all off as just ramblings from a lunatic. But from my point of view, the Weeknd did a great error. He did a grave error by helping out Gazans, giving them support, giving them not just moral support, but financial aid. That is reprehensible. That is vicious. That is evil. That is wrong. That is awful. The Weeknd is a grown man. He should have more understanding, more character, more knowledge. And like I said before, I'll never stop saying this. Why? Why, oh, why, oh, why is he not giving up all his millions? Why don't they ever give up all their millions? Just give it all away. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. I'll say some more, but I don't want a copyright strike from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But yeah, so I don't understand. Give all your money away. And every publishing, all your masters, all of that. Give it all away. If you're going to give it away. I mean, if you're going to, show yourself to be, oh, he's so selfless. He's so unselfish. He's so altruistic. As if those were virtues, which they're not. They're actually vices. Selfishness is a virtue. Selfishness is the only way that you have to, in this world, have to be. And we're a joke in a lot of ways. We pretend like selfishness isn't a virtue. And that's all we have. We're individuals. Nobody, conjoined twins at their head may share brain tissue, but they don't share the same mind. That's a fact. They don't have the same circuitry to have their same minds. They'll have different, they have the same brain, but they possess different minds. That's the difference. That's what makes you an individual, your mind. Because they're connected at the body, so it's not the body that makes them an individual. Part of it is, but it's mainly your mind, your own thoughts. So, Mr. Tesfaye, in the future, could you do me a favor? Could you say that you are going to bolster the support, the efforts of Israelis? We're going to have some kind of reversal of the mindset of people that don't know what they're thinking and don't know how to think for themselves, and just say, "Oh wow, some brown people. Oh wow, we got to help out them." Israelis, aren't they morally right? Oh, those colonizers! I can't believe it. This is terrible. Bullshit. Israelis have been literally fighting for their land for 75 years plus. And to have them be attacked on October 7th, 2023 was one of those vicious and ugly and disgusting displays I've ever seen in my life. And what transpired after that is probably the worst. The support for Palestinians and support for Gazans, the support for Hamas. That, added insult to serious injury and death. The aid, the help, the support for, enemies of, human nature, enemies of rationality, enemies of truth. And it's by Americans, especially. Americans, they don't give a goddamn about you. Gazans, they don't give a damn about you. You're a Christian, they could kill you. You're a queer, you're LGBTQ, they could throw you from a building. They don't care about you. So the queers for Palestine and the Christians and the black people in America, all for Palestine, all for Palestinians, you're all wrong. Every last one of you. All incorrect. You may be able to correct your errors, but it's too late on some fronts, like Tesfaye. It's too late for the Weeknd. He may correct his errors, but it's too late to reverse all the ideas for $2.5 million going towards him. It's too late for that. There's no room left. There's no room for it. So I'm only just trying to point out the fact that I just saw the headline and it just blew me away. I was like, wow, really? $2.5 million for Gazans? What is it? Over 800 metric tons of food that'll serve 173,000 people for 2 weeks. I said, why don't you, give up all your money? It could be 20 metric tons and enough food to supply 300,000 or 500, 500,000 or 1,000,000 people for a month, for 2 months. Why not that? Why didn't you give it all away? What's stopping you? Oh no, that's irrational. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. That you don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy. He's got to have something to live on. They're gonna have something to live on too, don't they? All those millions you make, all that talent, everything that goes to it has to go into their hands. That's altruism. Altruism claims to have everything. It claims all. It's Jesus on the cross. That's altruism. Gives it all. Give the whole life away, everything. You give yourself away. That's altruism. That's the cause of Christianity, especially, but also in the other faiths, and mysticism, Judaism, Islam. They're all they're in the same pot. They just have different flavors. But that's the total. That's the total that he's put up. $2.5 million. Not 3.5, not 4.5, not 20.5. Whatever he has, he didn't give that. This 2.5. Oh, that's good. That's just satisfying. It'd be all right. 2.5. That's cool. $2.5 million. It'd be good. Doesn't work like that. Not in your world. Not in the world that you see. The world that you see should say that you have every ounce of your pocketbook to dump on the Gazans. That would be completely irrational. That would be completely evil. That would be completely backwards. But damn it, that's what you would have to do. That's what you should have done if you were going to do anything. If you were going to do anything, really, you should have been $2.5 million to aid Israelis. How about that? You scared? Don't be scared. Don't get scared now. You already opened up the pocketbook. The least you can do is be like Nick Cannon. He's got the tattoos. Oh, Baja Jackson, my man. Salute. I've been promoting you. I've been putting B Jackson. What is it? 70. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me make sure. B Jackson 5478. Salute to you, sir. Subscribe to B Jackson 5478 on YouTube. Tell him that I sent you. Have you been seeing an uptake in your views and your I think you got some a little bit more subscribers. How many views are you getting? Hope you're doing well with that. Let me do this too. Subscribe. I'm writing it right now. Just in case you're wondering, and there's some quietness going on. So because I'm typing. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. I appreciate your dollar, Baja Jackson. You're one of the very few that are in the coveted Skylar 50 Club. So I appreciate all of your donations. I appreciate everything you do. And I see that you just put in $10. I don't know why my watch didn't go off. But I see that you put in $10, so I appreciate it, sir. So we got $10 raised. Oh shit, we got Rick James in the house. $10 raised, $150 to go. Let's get it. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He dropped the 10 on me. I appreciate it. So, tell more people about me. I'll tell more people about you. If you got something to promote, I'll promote it on my show. I'll let other people know. And like I said, I was ready with your Baja Jackson. I'm talking to you. I was ready with your handle, because I had that saved. So make sure you know that I'm supporting you all the way for all your donations. I appreciate it, sir. But we got to get back into Mr. Tesfaye. Tesfaye. If I'm saying it, is it Tesfaye or Tesfaye? I don't know. But we got to get back into him. Pause. The Weeknd, as he's known internationally. He's an international superstar. Can't take that away from him. Played the Super Bowl. Super Bowl was lit. It was fire. It was the truth. He's a great artist. I can't take that away from him. Nobody can take away his talent. He's got a voice that's similar to Michael Jackson, the same kind of register. But he's an altruist. And altruism is not a virtue. He is somebody that has, I don't know how much research he's done. I don't know if he just shot from the hip, just used emotion and just, didn't think, but just felt like, oh my God, these people are brown skin like me. I'm brown skin, they're brown skin. We got to have some kind of unity when they don't give a goddamn about you. You're from Ethiopia. Your family's from Ethiopia. They don't care about you. You're living in Canada and America. They don't care about you. They could care less. And you give them $2.5 million as if to make a statement. Rick James says, can't stay for long, sir, but salute her you anyway, and salute to Baja Jackson. All right, Rick James. If you're out of here, you're out of here. I don't know if you're still in. But thank you for coming in, and just bring somebody else the next time. Just every time you check in, just bring somebody from your Facebook or your X or your Threads. Just bring one person in. Don't bring two people in. Just bring one person in. Let the second person. Oh, who's that goofy nigga? Who is that with the gray hat and the silver tie? What's up with him? All right, so be like that. The Weeknd. He's just an example. I'm making him an example because there's other people that have signed on, like Michael Stipe. I said Dua Lipa, different artists like that have signed different pledges to help out the World Food Program. Let me make 100% sure. World Food Program. Okay, it is not a government organization. It is a private organization. It's a .org, not a .gov. So they're saying, you have your gifts. They're asking for gifts. They want 25, 75, 250, 500 a stack one time. Monthly, they want 15 a month, 25 a month, 50 a month. That's I like the 50 a month. That's what I'm going, because that not too much, not too little. It's right on. I think it resonated with a lot of people. They get the blue wrench. 75 a month or $100 a month. They're trying to get that money. They want that cash. And they got a picture of the baby in the arms, and looks like it's in distress with the big bright eyes. Looks like my little nephew. And it's a charity navigator. It's got 4 stars, which means it's a top tier program. So I salute the World Food Program USA insofar as they have the right idea. They give to the right causes. Gaza is not the right cause. Israel is the right cause. We have to give to the people that are affected because of what Hamas did on October 7th, 2023. We have to be aware of that. We have to make sure of that for now and for always. All right. So we're talking about, going back, circling back, finding new ways. I got 4 people on here watching from my point of view, from my end. I don't know what you see. Now it's back to 3. 4 likes. I'm liking this. I'm feeling it. I'm at the right time. Usually 4 o'clock. I'm at the right time all the time, but I'm saying I get, the most views during this time. But what is my question? My question is, have you ever corrected your mistake? Whatever your mistake may have been. Like I said, the Weeknd, he can correct his mistake. He can find the error in his ways. It's not too late. I'm not really blaming him because he doesn't have the knowledge. Most people don't have the knowledge of that selfishness is a virtue. The majority of people in the world consider selfishness a great vice, a terrible vice, a horrific vice. It's terrible to be selfish. Oh, you're so selfish. Oh, you're selfish. You're just the most selfish person. And they never say, you're just self-interested. You're just so self-interested. Good afternoon, Capers. I have to give it to you. Capers wasn't in the building, and he dropped money on my head. So I have to salute him. He's on his way to a blue wrench. That's going to see. So he's on his way to a blue wrench. He put in, I think, $10 the last time, and he can put in that about 4 more times, and he'll be in the 50 club. He's got plenty of time. We're only at the 2nd day of December, and it's just something I wonder about him. The Weeknd. I just so many other artists. I can't name too many that are for Israel. How many artists are actually for Israel? It's the weirdest thing. It's like on 9/11, if we said, you know what, Al-Qaeda is probably really, they probably come from a poor region. We can fix them up, give them schools and sewers. Oh, wait a minute, we did do that, didn't we? During the Afghan war, we built up roads, we gave them food, we gave them sewer systems. It's disgusting. It really is. So, have you corrected a mistake you may have made in the past? Have you mended, ties or retied bonds that were shredded, long ago because of your mistake? You may have been mistaken, and it's okay to be mistaken if you correct your mistake. If you are in error and you make that mistake, and you are aware of it, and you can change it, and it's not too late to change it. Have you made that decision to change it? Has that been your priority? Have you done the necessary steps to be in good standing with a person or with your own self, with an entire people? we messed that up. We didn't do too well on that, but we're gonna make it right. We're gonna do the right thing this time. I want to see that with people that are donating to Gaza. I want them to get the information and say, no. You don't want to donate to Gazans. Gazans aren't the one. You want to donate to Israelis. You want to give them support, moral support, monetary support, military support, give them weapons to help them fight against this scourge, against this ugliness, this disgusting display of force against them, the initiation of force. Holy moly, roly poly oly. It's Keith. Your boy Rick James checked in and checked out. He's not on here anymore. He would have called you Harimbe. But I'm gonna say your name. I'm gonna say your name is Keith. Because I can't pronounce Harumi Aida. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. So I just call you Keith. And say salute, sir. All right, so we have Keith. He says more than 50,000 pounds of humanitarian relief supplies delivered to Egypt last week by a U.S. Air Force C-17 Globemaster was transported by land into Gaza. See? This is what's so sick about this country. and why we're not, super American right now. Super American is the founding fathers. They could give a goddamn about the British. And the British really didn't care either. They were more concerned with Spain and France. So they were like, yeah, good luck with your colony. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then they're like, oh, just in about 75 to 100 years, they're like, wow, what? Look at America being all strong and independent and standing on its own 2 feet and doing very well for itself. Got into its own war, got into a civil war, and because of the great temerity and great mind frame of people like General William Tecumseh Sherman and others, they were able to sustain the Union. I see y'all. Okay. Then we got into a whole lot of mess. We got into the World War I. We shouldn't have been in that. World War II, we could have been in, we might not have fought in Europe. We might not have. We had the right. That's the reason why we did fight. If any dictatorship, we had the right to go into and dismantle and destroy. But we definitely had to get to Pacific Theater. And mamas and papas and uncles and aunties and everybody was destroyed. Don't get it messed up. In Tokyo, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, don't get it messed up. Keith knows what I'm talking about. Keith is in Japan right now. He knows what I'm saying. I forget what branch. Are you in the Air Force, Keith? I forget which branch you are. I think you are in the Air Force. Let me make sure. Yeah. That's what it's like. It's exactly what it's like. So we have, Vietnam, which was complete altruism. Nobody knows why we were there. Nobody can say why we were there other than complete slaughter and sacrifice on our own behalf. We killed millions of Vietnamese. Viet Cong, North Vietnamese, NV. We killed civilians in the millions, but it doesn't matter. We took casualties. About 58,000 died, and over 100,000, were wounded. And many POWs and missing in action. Then we go to, the first Gulf War. We won that, but it wasn't like, it was like, yeah, yay, woo, we won. And it was like, all right, that's over. Then we're attacked on September 11th. And it was like, whoa, oh my God, whoa, what is this? What is happening here? So we go in on October 7th. How about that? October 7th, 2001 is when we went in to Afghanistan for I don't know what reason, because everybody that was a part of the planning of the attacks, the hijackers obviously were killed, but the planners, they escaped, I think, to Pakistan and different other regions. And so we just fought, the Taliban, and we all know how that went. Then a few years later, we go to Iraq. Oh, well, they got weapons of mass destruction. Oh, well, we got to protect the oil. Oh, well, what? Again, what is our reason for being here? There is none except for sacrifice and altruism. It's vicious. So here we are. We got past ISIS for God's sake. So then we're here, with Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Gaza. And in between all that, we're different fighting, there are different wars beyond just what happened on October 7th. There's Rick James. He's back. I was waiting for Rick James because he's going to say Harambe. I knew it. He had to come back. But Keith says the latest aid comes on top of more than 500,000 pounds, 500,000 in anyone else's calculations, of food assistance delivered by the U.S. 2 weeks ago. He goes on to say, my point, The U.S. DOD and other nations are helping with emergency relief for Gaza. Exactly. Skylar, I served in the Navy and Army Reserve, but you're out now, right? You're out. You're not. You're no longer in there. You're retired. Is that right, Keith? Let me know. But yeah. So yeah, U.S. DOD. We're altruists. We're not. We either are totally for one side, or we split the difference. We say, oh well, we got to give some to them, and we got to give some to them too. Oh my God. Okay, you're out. Okay. So we got to give a little bit to them and a little bit to them. We got to, spread the wealth around, spread it around, spread it around. But that's our error, and it may be too late in some instances to correct our mistakes, but in other instances, it's too late. In some instances, it's too late. Some instances, we still have the ability to change, and that's what my philosophy is about. I'll release it in sometime in 20 what is it? We're going to 2028. 2028. That's when I'll release it. So if you're looking forward to my philosophy, it's when I'm 40 years old. That's when I'll drop it. I'll let everybody know about it. But right now, I want to say how you can be completely absolved of your quote unquote sins if you correct the errors of your ways, and be truthful and be honest about it, and look into yourself and realize that you're able to do this on your own terms. Anybody can make a mistake. Like the Weeknd, I think he made a mistake. I think he made a grave error, but he may not even realize it. He may be thinking in his mind that he did a good thing, that it's proper, that's right, it's upright, it's righteous. He may feel that way. That's what he may feel in his spirit, in his mind. I don't mean spirit mystically. Rick James says, I have a lot of mistakes. I've never corrected, but they ultimately correct themselves. Okay. Myself, I made way more mistakes. I made a mistake for being a Christian for 16 years. That was a mistake. I fortunately got out of it. Was fortunate enough to grow into objectivism and objective hate. I was able to do that. All right, so Keith says this. In my opinion, the Weeknd pledge donation shows that he has compassion and empathy for Gaza. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not really attacking him per se. I'm just questioning. I'm asking, why not give more away, first of all? Why not give away, the proceeds to his mansion and his lofts and his, his condominium, his condos and his cars and all the stocks and bonds and all that he has probably, and all his worldly possessions? Give all that away, liquidate everything, and send it all over to the Gazans. I'm not saying he should do that. He could do that to Israel, to Israelis. That would be proper for him. I mean, I wouldn't advocate that, because that'd be altruism and that'd be selfless. If you can afford it, whatever you can afford, whatever you can get, I don't like the G word, give, but whatever you can offer, and it's not going to hurt you, that's how much you give. A G word again, offer, whatever, you know what I mean. Trade, that's a better word. The T word, trade. That you trade with them. You get a value and they get a value. Everybody wins. It's a win-win situation. That's what that's all about. So again, have you corrected your own mistakes? Have you corrected your mistake? Keith says, if I had $1 for every mistake that I have made in my lifetime, I would be a millionaire. I'll probably be a trillionaire. I made too many mistakes. But I hopefully for you too, Keith and Rick and Capers, if you're still there, and Baja, if you're still there. Hopefully you learn from it. Hopefully you can grow from your mistakes. That's some of the best things in the world, is to have mistakes. Just think about a movie. I was watching one of my favorite films of all time, The Social Network. I was watching the making of that. And it's like hell. It's like they had 99 takes for one shot. One shot had 99 takes. It was just Jesse Eisenberg and Rooney Mara's characters at a pub, and they're discussing their relationship. And it took over 99. It took just at 99 takes. So you have to, respect that. The fact that you might mess up over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, as long as you can get it right, and they got it right, because that's one of the most famous scenes from the movie and in all of Hollywood history as well. It's a riveting scene. It's excellent, and that's what garnered my favorite screenwriter, Aaron Sorkin, the best adapted screenplay Oscar. So it's just little things like that. It's just I remember when I was in the military, when I was in the Marines. Oh my God, did we mess up? We messed up. Then we had to go to the sand pit, do some push-ups, do some crunches. Crunch right now. He said that's my my senior drill instructor. Crunch right now. Crunch right now. Push right now. Push right now. I remember those days. I remember those days like they're yesterday. And that's when you mess up. If you mess up in anything you do, you got stronger. You got your weight up. You got your weight up. You get your arms strong. You got your stomach, tightened. You got your stomach muscles tightened. Your biceps strong. Your deltoids. Everything got stronger the way you messed up. So it's like you won. You still won. You gained, and you gained experience. Physically, and then we learn the intellectual aspect of it. Rick James, he says, for example, my biggest mistake was not sleeping with Karen in 1984, but it corrected itself when I slept with her daughter in 2013. Everything corrects except in the end. Oh my God. And he says, sir, okay. I guess that's a way of, remedying the situation. Not with the mama, but with the daughter, I guess, That's the way you do it, You got to respect that. I respect that. That's the way it is. So, if you ever have a mistake, you've got to correct it. If you can correct it, it might be too late. Some things are too late, but if it's able to be remedied, you got to do it. Keith says, Richard James, Japan is very interesting country to visit or live. I want to visit Japan. I want to see what it's like. There's a Marine base in Okinawa, and they have a lot of different scenarios that they get themselves into, such as the banana show. Is anybody familiar with the banana show? I can't go into details right now, but it's quite a show, I heard. I've never seen it myself, but some people have seen the cigarette show and the banana show and and the coin, the money show. There's coins. A young lady who can make, a woman who can make, I don't know if she's young, maybe she's older, but a woman who can make change, if you know what I mean. So in a special way. Maybe Keith is familiar. Maybe Rick James is familiar. I'm not sure. The banana show. Okay, so yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Did you go to the cigarette show too, Keith? Did you go to the coin show or the money show? She can make change. It's crazy. It's amazing. But getting back to the topic, mistakes. A mistake, your mistake. One, just take one mistake out of your life. The one mistake I can take out of my life was choosing to be a Christian. That was my biggest mistake, I think. I would have saved years of questioning and wondering and not being sure about myself and not being true to who I am. If I had said at an earlier age, at maybe, I don't know, 3.5, 4 years old, 5, 6, I'm an atheist, and said, what you're doing is wrong. This is all wrong. Everything that you're worshiping and you're praying towards, it doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not part of reality. It's not part of truth. That's what I would have done. Okay, you see which one? You see the cigarette show or the change show when she makes change? You put in $1. You put in like $4 or $1, and ask for with like a dime and a quarter or something like that. She'll give you 35 cents back or something like that. You seen them both. Okay. I'm about to have fun in a few. It's about to be, a whole hour. So I'm going to ask you some more questions about Japan. So stick around. Stay with me. If you have to take a break, take a break. But remember to keep your laptop on. I need the numbers. Keep your cell phone on. Keep your mobile device on. I need the numbers. I thank Baja Jackson for coming through. I think Capers might have dropped something on me. I don't know. I have to check my PayPal. Hold on. No, but that's cool too. But Baja Jackson definitely, made sure I got my money, 2 days in a row. I'm feeling that. I really am. So I think it's imperative. It is imperative. It is important that you correct your mistake. I corrected my mistake when I was 19 years old. A little later. Ayn Rand declared that she was an atheist when she was 14. Dr. Jerome Brooks said he was an atheist when he was 6. Okay? She was probably an atheist by 3.5 or 2. But she didn't declare it until she was 14 years old. She didn't say, let me make sure she said, I don't believe in God. I think she literally just said that. I think she just said, I don't believe in God at 14. I may be paraphrasing. I'm probably paraphrasing. I don't think that's a direct quote. But yeah, that would have saved me a lot. And would save more people a lot. 95% of the world are believers in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and Hinduism, and Buddhism. And then there's a select few that are agnostic, which I would take Jewish, Buddhist, Catholic, Israel, what is it? Just a mixture of all the religions over agnostic. Agnostic is somebody that crawls on their belly on one side or sits on the fence, is not sure, can't say, well, there isn't really a God, or maybe you can't prove that there is a God, when you're never called upon to prove a negative. God is a negative. To say that there's a God is like saying 1 divided by 0. Everybody right now, get your calculators, get your phones, try to type in 1 divided by 0, and what answer do you get? See if it's not undefined, which is God. God is undefined. There is no such thing as a God or anything like that. But we've been led to believe that for millennia, thousands of years, tons of wars, men and women and children blown apart, blown to bits because of somebody's belief in some fictitious face. That's facts. That's not something I'm making up or trying to sound cute. That's reality. Those are facts. So that's my biggest mistake of all time. thinking that there was some kind of mystical being beyond the bounds of this universe. That was my issue. That was my main flaw. That was where I messed up. And I corrected it. It took me a minute because it was one time in the military, in the Marines. I'll tell you this is a fact. It's true. I called home and said, you know what? I'm not an atheist anymore. I did say that. I said that when I was 19 at the same time, the same year. Same year, 19, when I said that I'm not a Christian, that I said I was. And then I hung up the phone and I was like, why did I say that? I said I'm an atheist, and I said I'm not an atheist, and I said I wasn't an atheist again. What's going on? And I flipped it back. I am an atheist, and I've been that way. Now, what is it going on? Is that 17 years? 17 years. Yeah. Well, not 17, 15 years. Excuse me. My math is all messed up. I'm terrible at math. 15 years, and I've been atheist. But it's not just atheist. It has to be the whole thing. You got to get rid of the mysticism. Then you got to get rid of the collectivism. Then you got to get rid of the hardest part, altruism. Because mysticism was mainly, done away with during the Renaissance and the rebirth and Enlightenment. People really didn't take mysticism too seriously. Even though it exists today, even though it's pretty strong, it's still not like that serious. People don't really take it as seriously as they used to do. Like people flogging themselves and things like that. Most people don't do that. Collectivism died at the end of World War II. I know there were communism and socialism and different isms like that and different collectives like that were around the world, but they didn't have as serious hold on the mind. Of course, the bodies, hundreds of millions of people died because of communism. Hundreds and millions of people died because of Nazism and things like that. But it didn't have the same spark. It didn't have the same hold. That's why the Berlin Wall fell. That's why Soviet Russia fell. Soviet states fell. But altruism is like myeloma. That's like a blood disease. It's like a disease in the blood. It's something that you really can't correct easily. It's like cancer. It's within the culture. Keith says, interesting. Religion. No one wants to die, but everybody wants to go to heaven. Yeah, exactly. And what is heaven? What the hell is heaven? Pearly gates, golden streets, mansions. Who built all that? Did the angels build that? Did they have a union? Are they controlled by one contractor? See, when you get specific, that's when you get into trouble. That's when you can't, say what is true or not. And Jesus is going to come back on a cloud. How do you come back on a cloud? And this will be his third appearance, by the way. I said that before. He was born. He died. He ascended into heaven. He came back, peep this, to show his disciples his stigmata, his wounds. Then he ascended again back into heaven. And he's seated at the right hand of the Father. So he's supposed to come back a third time, not a second time. People say it's his second coming. No, it's his third. So that's how sick and twisted we are. We have like different movies like Godfather, one of the best movies ever made, probably the best movie ever made. The Godfather. And they're showing the split screen of somebody, not the split screen, but the cutting between the baby's christening and then the guy getting his being killed. And they're showing life and death, and the oranges mean death and stuff like that. The symbolism. It's just weird. It's really goofy. How we still hold on to it. I've always said this, and I'll say it over and over again. I always go back to The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz may be the greatest film of all time to me. I think it is. It's my personal favorite movie is Rushmore. But I think the greatest film of all time, everybody from 3 years old to 90 to 103 years old can relate to The Wizard of Oz. That's how powerful that movie is. And like I said, the Winky Guard are the people that or they're people argue, they're saying all we owe her. I think that's bullshit. I don't think they're really, I think they're just saying oh. But we can have that talk for another day. But when Dorothy, I hope I'm not spoiling it for anybody, but when she throws the water to try to turn off to extinguish the fire that's going on the scarecrow, and she hits the witch, everybody's surprised. It's like one of the greatest moments in cinematic history. We're like, oh shit, it's water. She's just afraid of water. Everything, I'm melting. Oh, what a world. And that was symmetry. That's symbolism to show that faith holds no water. It can't hold any water. It's destroyed. When it's when it has the weight of water on it, it's destroyed. It can't hold water. So I think that's what's going to happen. The Winky Guard goes, Dorothy, you killed her. You killed the Wicked Witch of the West. And she's like, this is the second witch that she killed. She killed her sister when her house fell on her. And she didn't have anything to do with that. She didn't even realize that. Then she killed her. And she's like, I wasn't trying to kill her. I was trying to put out the fire. But I mean, if I'm going to be a witch killer, I got 2 bodies. She had 2 bodies. So, I just think it's going to be like the Winky Guard. And then she's dead, and all hell Dorothy. That's going to be reason. That's going to be rationality one day. They were all following the witch. Everybody was like on the witch's time. Oh my God, we have to follow the witch. Oh my God, we have to follow the witch. But Dorothy, inadvertently, even though it was inadvertent, she killed the Wicked Witch of the West. I don't think reason's going to be inadvertent. I think it's going to be, very, not forceful, but very apparent and relevant and a factor in the lives of millions and maybe even billions of people. Because it's not just atheism, it's rationality, individualism, and capitalism. Those 3 values we will have to hold as truth in our lives. Okay, Keith says, Scholar, to get a sarcastic view of heaven, I recommend you watch the movie from the 70s, Oh God. Okay, I'll see that. With George Burns, is that right? With George Burns? I'll watch that. But I think a really great movie that really helped me have a questioning period in my mind, what caused cognitive dissonance, was Dogma. If you watch this Kevin Smith movie, it's got Chris Rock, Salma Hayek, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and a whole host of others. George Carlin. It's such a great movie. It's just a excellent, well-made, goofy, funny, but serious at times movie. It's very good. And George Burns and John Denver, yeah. And they're both dead. Isn't that weird? But hey, look, we crossed the hour mark. I got 15% left. If you want to ask me questions, Keith, go ahead. I'll probably be asking you questions about Japan. I'll get my ticket so I can go over there. Get some Japanese coochie. Are you with your family? Are you with your wife or your children? Keith? Or are you just, solo dolo? What is the deal? I'm while you're typing and while you're writing, I'm just gonna say, I'm just so happy. I'm glad. I'm in a good place. I get money almost every day, if not every day, and the lowest is probably $5 or $7. Mostly it's $10. I got my first $100 from my friend Kirk Pang, representing all day, every day. That's my little bro all day. Okay, he says no kids, but I have a Japanese wife. Oh, good for you. Good on you, sir. Hope you have a strong union. Have a strong bond. That's good. That's good. And look at that. Look what tomorrow is. Tomorrow's Sunday. You know, another Sunday that, you know, and Israelis have to wake up in carnage and, you know, hunger and starvation, and we got the Weeknd sending money to the Gazans for food and aid. So tomato sauce and oil and rice for 2 weeks. 173,000 people will feed. How many people have you fed there on Israel's side? That's my question to you, Mr. Tesfaye. I have that question for you, sir. I wonder what it's like. What is it like in your head? What is going on in your brain? Because the weirdest thing is, I would have been on it too. That's my admission. Can you admit that? Can you admit something? If I didn't have Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectives, I'm like, yeah, Palestinians, I'm brown skinned, yeah. It'd be complete collectivism, complete racism, complete evil. I'll be like, yeah, they look like me. I don't think they care about me that much, but I still got to help them. That's altruism. And even though we don't share the same God or the same messengers, Jesus is for Christians, Moses is for Jews, and Muhammad is for Muslims. We all have different messengers, you know? Or they have different messengers, not we, but they have all different messengers. Here's a question. Skylar, what are your plans for Christmas? We're having an unorthodox, you know, unprecedented Christmas. We're not giving any gifts to the adults. We're just giving it to the littles, to my sister's kids. Mainly, you know, for the budget. For the reality of it is, I'll give you $25 discard card. You give me a $25 gift card. Who wins? There's no exchange. There's no real, and we don't know what we want. We're not asking, you know, what we want from each other. So it's just weird. It's goofy. The whole thing is goofy. So we said, nope, we're not giving any money to any adults. No adults are getting money or gifts or anything. No gift cards, no sweaters, no new phones, nothing like that. So what are your plans, Keith? What are your plans for Christmas? What is Christmas like in Japan? They don't really celebrate Christmas, do they? I'm not sure. I'm just going off the head right now. I didn't look it up. I didn't do the research. They probably have, you know, Christmas trees everywhere. I don't know. You tell me. Yeah, no gifts for adults, just for the kids. Because like I said, we just give each other gift cards. $25 for you, $25 for me. Wow. Okay, we just split the difference. You know, it doesn't make any sense. So we said we're not giving nothing for the adults, only for the kids. Only for the kiddios. As my late great grandfather used to say, the kiddios. So I don't get into the spirit until, like, I'm it's hard for me to get in the spirit. I haven't gotten into the spirit for all the past few. The only spirit I got into was 4th of July and Thanksgiving. Those are the two, and it's happening to be two of my favorite holidays as well. Japanese recognize Christmas, but they don't celebrate Christmas. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Like they'll see it, they'll observe it, but they won't, you know, get intertwined with it. They won't have the whole, you know, spirit about it. I understand what you're saying. So where else have you been in the world? You've been in Japan. Have you been in Europe? Have you been in other places in Asia? Have you been to Africa, South America? And is that your main residence? Do you have other residences around the world? I'm just asking. Just curious. I mean, we got Tesfaye giving up all that money, but not enough. I don't think he gave up enough. He should have gave everything. And if you could, like Dr. Jerome Brooks says, if you could just show a little bit of blood, showing that you're really sacrificial, showing that you're real altruistic, show that part. Never been to Europe or Africa. What parts of South America have you been to? Have you been to Oceania? That's New Zealand and Australia. So it's a weird world. It's weird. It's just so goofy. My dad always says they always want to make right wrong and wrong right. Well, depending on your perspective, that's a good thing. Christianity is wrong. Atheism is right. That's making wrong right. Make Christianity into atheism. That's right. Make it into reason. Make it into thought, ideas. See, it's just cute when we're talking about ideas, but it's reality. Every single war that has ever been waged in all of human history came down to ideas. Everything. Every single war. No matter what it was. If it was over, a piece of bread, and there are two fighting factions over the piece of bread, the idea of the bread, the value of it. Some guy got hit over the head for some mead or something like that with a club. It was all devised because of the idea of having possession. And now, modern times, you have people rushing up and blowing up buildings and killing people on hang gliders into Israel. But nobody wants to help Israel. Nobody cares about Israelis. We have songs. We are the world and all that mess. I mean, that's cool. If you want to sing that song, that's fine. But I don't think the proceeds even benefited the people that much. I don't think so. I doubt it. So it's really just all about different things like that. He says, I've been to Philippines, Thailand, Hong Kong, Bali, Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, Guam, and Australia. Wow, you've been really tearing up the South Pacific, haven't you? Tearing it up. Wow. That is extraordinary, sir. Salute to you. Salute. You're putting in the work all across the South Pacific. So I gotta extend my hand to you. That's definitely putting in work. Should be proud of that. I've never been outside the United States. Never stepped foot outside the confines, the borders. Never once. Never once. So that's how I, really show people who I am and what I am, and I just tell the truth. Like it still hurts me. It's weird. It's like I tell people, I was 19 when I was atheist. That still hurts me. It's weird. Like, I wish I wasn't 3 when I said I was an atheist. It saved me so much time, so much bullshit, so much confusion. All I had to do was say, you know what? I don't believe. because atheism is a negative. It's not really atheism because there's no ism to it. There's no thought. Ism is an idea. It's just a negation. It's just a negative. Okay, Keith says the military allowed me the traveling experience. You said experience, but at first I thought you said expense. But I think they take it out of our checks when we travel. I didn't realize it, but I think they actually do. Some way they take it out of our our checking accounts and stuff like that. I really think they do. I can't put my finger on it. I'm not in it anymore, so I can't tell. But I do think they take out money, because I know for officers have to buy their own uniforms. I didn't know that. I saw that on the YouTube. It was one of the officers. He said, make sure you have about $2,500 saved up, because you're gonna have to buy your own uniforms. I was like, God damn. I mean, were ours free in boot camp? I don't think so. I think they took out the expenses, and just wrote it off. I am close to Canada, kind of, not very close to Canada. I'll say I'm somewhat close to Canada. I could visit Canada, but meh. It's like, how you doing, neighbor? Eh? That's what it would be like. It'd be very odd. But I would go to Canada, depending on, especially if there was some, pink toe, she was looking right. I could just scoop her up, take her to America. Wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that. So that's, goes along with the show, I mean, same as, yes. Well, we got to have a big discussion on that. Same as America. America is completely different from Canada. Let's be factual here, sir. Let's make that the clear distinction. America is completely different from Canada. Canada is like America Light or Diet America. Seems like it's about right, but something's missing. It's not the same. It's America Light. A little different. So, who's watching football? Who's watching football today? I heard Deion Sanders is going to be named Coach of the Year, I think. Let me make sure. Look that up. I'm saying it while I'm looking it up. Yeah. Okay, it says on the evening of Wednesday, December 6th, SI will honor Deion Coach Prime Sanders with the 2023 Sports Illustrated Sportsperson of the Year Award, alongside the Season 2 world premiere screening of Coach Prime on the University of Colorado campus in Boulder. I mean, yeah, I see that. I mean, I thought he was going to be like, what is their season? It's like 14 games. I don't know, but I thought he was going to sweep it. I thought it was going to be like 14-0 or whatever their games are. I don't know how long their season is. Is it the same as NFL? 17 games, and they have 17 weeks and 16 games they play. But yeah, I imagine he deserves it. He turned around a shit team, a team that was in the tubes, and he wasn't perfect this time, but I think he's going to get it correct next season. Next season is probably going to be his time for him to shine. He's probably going to be able to shine a little brighter than he did this season. He was trying to get his footing. He was trying to get his mind right. He was trying to get his position in. He wasn't one of the teams that went 9-0 and 10-0 already out the gate. So maybe next year he'll have it. But look at this. Wait, hold on. Look at this. Hold on. How about that, right? Sports person of the year. That's it. That's when he played for the boys. That's when he played for the boys. So the idea of having somebody, that boisterous and, pop moving and popping and shaking and, still, like, they call him prime. He acts like he's still in his prime. What is he, like 50 something? He's got to be in his 50s now, something. Maybe how old is Deion Sanders? 56. Damn near pushing 60. Damn near pushing 60. Like, it's cool. So, yeah, salute to him. Salute to Deion Sanders. Not going to hate on him just to hate on him. Be really corny. Next year he'll probably he may have a perfect season next year. I don't know. But that's what they always say. Black don't crack. You ever seen I think her name is Helen Hong. She was like, you know why Asian women are bad drivers? And because they're trying. I'm paraphrasing. They're really old. They get into the mid hundreds. Their hundreds, and you know why they drive so terribly? It's because they're trying to die. They say black don't crack, well, Asian don't die. You would probably have more experience than I seeing Asian women drive, if they do drive. I know there's a lot of mopeds and bicycles around, and not a lot of cars probably. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you know more than I about the traffic situation over there. I don't know. So, if we don't have any more questions, and I thank you, Keith, for sticking around. And whoever you are with, Keith, I don't know if you're even, maybe you're a bot like the other guy said. Oh, those are probably 4 bots, Whatever, nigga, you just hating. But I want to thank you for sticking around with me, sticking around for this hour plus. And, just take it to heart, to your mind, not to heart. Take it to your mind. It's so easy to say it. It's part of the, communication we have. But take to your mind what I said. Maybe you may disagree with me, but maybe if you have some semblance of understanding, make sure you read Ayn Rand, Dr. Jerome Brooke, and of course Mr. Troy Star Terrain. Thank you very much for your attention. I'll probably see you tomorrow, if not on Monday. Thank you very much. Take care.